So, night 2, I guess. Really the first night of racing in Mohave. Never been in before. Practice last night. Went pretty good. No scoring last night, so don't know how fast we're going relative to everybody else. 21 cars checked into the sportsman class. So, full field, no B mains, so I automatically make the feature tonight and tomorrow, which is great. So the main thing for the main tonight is to get in the top 10 for the fast dash. That's what sets the order for tomorrow for the big show. So car felt good yesterday. The van doesn't feel as good. So it's kind of a cluster getting out here. Blew my fire suppression system after tech. Cryo burned my hand pretty bad. Big thanks to Dewey Myers for helping me out with some burn pads and stuff. So feels okay now. Felt okay during practice, but that happened about an hour before practice. So, but we'll see. Hoping things go good. Let's get after it.
Okay, so the first heat, I decided to play back a little bit. So starting in the back, I know one of the drivers in front is going to be a bit slower than me, so I stayed back a little bit and tried to get a good jump, and I did. Got a great jump, a good start. Moved my way up to third, fourth. If I look at the TV camera, I was about in fourth. That yellow car was a bit outside me and was able to hold that position pretty well. This is really our first chance on the track for the day. I was trying to find a good spot, looking at that car, that 10 car in front of me. Taking the low line, looking at these other two guys. I believe they were both local guys. In fact, all three of these guys were local dudes. So they looked like they were having the better line was up high. I was trying to figure out what was going to be the fast line. If it was going to be the high line or if it was going to be the low line. The other two cars seemed like they were going pretty quick in the middle and the outside. But I felt pretty good about the outside, so I was going to keep going along with that. That car pushed me pretty wide. Admittedly, at the time I was a little annoyed by that because he already ran me up towards the wall in the front stretch the lap prior. That was kind of 2 laps in a row, kind of, I mean, not really giving me a ton of space, but, you know, it is what it is. It's racing. It's, no implication that I'm going to just be given free passes through or anything like that, but, you know, it's a heat race on Friday night of a 2-day show, but, so I got a good drive off of turn 4, going into the next corner into 1, and I kind of just flowed up the same way he did to make sure that I held the position as well. So, you know, drive how you want to be driven against, and so I drove the same way. After that, it was pretty much just a cruise for the rest of the heat, trying to figure out what these guys were doing. They were running really high lines, but it didn't seem like they were really moving away from me, and me running a little bit lower. I didn't really need the momentum that much, but coming around to the checker flag, and that will do the heat race.
The heat went pretty good overall. Went from last to third, so it could have been a lot worse. Definitely had similar pace to the two guys who ended up kind of walking away with it, so they're local guys, so kind of trying to learn what they're doing. So starting 7th in the main, I think 22 guys. I think 2 guys blew up, or 3 guys, maybe 4. Anyway, it blew up. So we'll see how I do. As long as we're in the top 10, we're doing okay. Get after it.
Okay, time for the first main event of the weekend, our Friday night main event. Starting out in 7th, I'm really hopeful I'm going to get a good start and pull a couple spots right off the bat. And now just trying to settle in. I mean, cars are going 3 wide. It's pretty slick, pretty snotty up there. Chase Wilson in front of me. Me and him like to run similar lines. We both are kind of high side guys. Watching him though, and it doesn't look like it's that fast. But it's still pretty early in the race, so you know we'll see what's happening when we get our first yellow. Come back to the green flag, and we'll see what everybody's doing and once everybody's bunched up again. Still looks like the mid to high line isn't necessarily going to be the best, but we're going to try to figure it out and see what the fast guys are doing ahead of us. Everybody looks like that are going quickly, seem to be catfishing at the bottom. But it looks really dry down there. I'm not seeing a lot of drive coming off there, but then I get passed by an 11-year-old, and I think maybe I might want to consider doing something else. And we get our second caution. And back to green again. And now I'm just trying to figure out what exactly is going to work. There's two distinct groups that are, one's going high, one's going low. But I feel like I'm feeling some grip at this point in like lane 2, that little border of brown stripe between lane 2 and lane 3. I'm finding some grip there that I wasn't finding at the top, and even if when I was looking at the bottom, like I feel like my car wasn't necessarily set up for something like that. Wasn't gonna do really well down at the bottom, so I decided that, hey, like maybe let's try and feel this out. Now that the field is spread out a little bit more, now I'm in the podium places. I've already moved up a few spots and starting to feel pretty good and trying to find a rhythm. I feel like based on my closing speeds, I'm closing the gaps on these guys a lot going into the corners. It's just a matter of trying to feel the traction, what's actually the good spots. There were a couple weird spots like down at the bottom of 2 that I was not getting a good drive out of. So I wanted to really feel what's going to be the fastest exit. That's where I was trying to pick up some speed. But you can see my closing distances were increasing quite a bit, and those gaps are coming down a lot. And then, of course, we get another yellow flag. It is Sportsman, and it is the first day of the National, so, makes sense. But here we are, back to a green flag. I don't get the best start here, but nothing terrible. Didn't lose any positions or anything like that. But right here, you can really see where that second lane is actually coming in pretty good for me. I'm able to stick the pass pretty well along the outside and try to close the gap to the leader. Now it's going to be pretty much a one-on-one dogfight. I looked at the timing, and me and him sort of just kind of started gapping ourselves from the rest of the field. He was still on that catfish line down at the bottom. The biggest negative side for me was that drive to get off of turn 4, and it seemed to be a little bit better for him at the bottom of turn 4. But if I came any lower, my car tended to want to push, so that wasn't really advantageous for me. I felt like I was going to lose more time by pushing through the corner than getting any kind of good drive. So I couldn't find a good set line to come that low, but I was doing okay with trying to find different lines through 1 and 2. That's kind of why I started to do those different lines. And then we got another yellow flag. So we restart once again, and same thing. I didn't want to go to the bottom line overall for the Delaware restart, but I knew that the 13 car did, so that's why I put myself there, because I knew that wasn't his preferred line, and I figured that I could take the jump on it. He wouldn't slide into my line preferred and then keep that second place spot. So it was more of a tactical thing than anything else. I figured that once I got through a lap, I'd be able to just move to my preferred line, and I'd be able to move up. So here I got a pretty decent drive to the outside, and I tried to work my way around the leader. He came down, and I ended up bumping into him, and I felt terrible about it. I bumped into him. I mean, you can see him banging my steering wheel and stuff, but it wasn't intentional. I did everything I could to stop, and it was such a gentle tap that I can't believe he spun as much as he did. But the track was super dry and super loose, and I spent basically after the race just apologizing to him. So that was really unfortunate. Unfortunately, double unfortunate is that he got tagged by a couple other cars afterwards and did some damage to his car. But fortunately, he was actually able to race the next night.
Got my first win, first main event win. Kind of tarnished, didn't mean to make contact with the guy in front of me. I was definitely fast with him. If we went the full 20 laps, I definitely would have got by him. I had a quarter eighth of a car in front of him. I thought he heard me when I went to the outside. Figured he'd see me on the inside. He started coming down. I got on the brakes really hard, and I couldn't stop. I tapped him. It was just a brush, but the track was just so slick he went around. Unfortunately, people are driving on their noses and hit him, so he didn't finish. So felt pretty bad about that. Kind of ruins the excitement of getting your first win. So, but today's another day. If I get it this one time, then make sure it's very clean. So, but the car was great, man. I don't have a lot of complaints. I felt good. Got a lot of support back home from how the race I drove. I came from 7th. So, big thanks to OnlyFast. Really helped with setting up the car, using their tools and setup system, and it was very helpful for me. So I'll have a video about that soon. So, all right, well, starting second in the fast dash. Let's see how we do. Capper.
So now getting to our fast dash, I pulled second, and at the start, I just happened to get a really good jump on the guy who was on the inside, and after that, it was pretty smooth sailing. That second lane was still pretty grippy, still feeling pretty good. I was fairly content with it, and there wasn't really much else to do aside from just try to hit my marks, find good lap times. I realized at the time that we're pretty close to our main event time since all the heat races had already been completed. So, this probably be similar conditions to what we were going to see in the later evening, but that really wasn't the case. The track conditions did change a lot. I'm going to skip ahead a little bit just because you're just going to see me going in circles by myself for a little while. So I was pretty far by myself. We're about 8 laps in at this point, and just kind of running my own race. Haven't heard anybody in quite some time. Looking at scoring later, I was about a second and a half in front of second place, which means I was just hitting my marks the way I wanted to, but that's one of the benefits of clean air. But then unfortunately, there's a red flag, and our friend Chase Wilson had this incident right here. We get the green flag, and we're back off racing again. I think we had 2 laps to go. We were pretty close to the end by this point. But, of course, it tightens up the field and it brings everybody back together, and it gives other people an opportunity to catch up, get a chance to do a dive bomb. I mean, my one other national I've done for Western States was up in Marysville, and that was the year prior, or last year in 2025, and I got taken out in the fast dash and broke my car, and I couldn't do the main event for Saturday. So that was pretty unfortunate. There were no spare parts out there for me, and I didn't happen to have that part. So people do stuff for them because they want that better starting spot. So, and it is sportsman still, so you never know what exactly is going to happen. People could just send it. They could just huck it in and ruin your weekend. Not because they're intentionally trying to mess you up, just because they get overexuberant, get excited, and just trying to find that that extra position that's going to make it more likely to win. But fortunately for me, green and checkered, and level lap and after it.
Well, that win definitely felt better. 2 wins in a row. Led every lap of the dash. Fortunately, my buddy Chris Wilson, not Chase, flipped. So they're doing some surgery. Hopefully, he can get back out for the main. But again, OnlyFast comes in clutch with the setup for the dry slick track. It's becoming a valuable tool for me. So, and the sponsors. So, hey. But car felt good. My brakes are fresh, so I was kind of riding them a little bit, but I was just trying to slow down because the car felt so good. So, hey, one more to go, and we'll do a sweep. Get after it.
And for the main event, we're starting on the pole position. Get a good jump on the start. The same guy who was following me in the fast dash, which is sort of unfortunate. When you think about, oh man, I'm gonna have to. The same guy behind me, he kind of has an idea where I'm going to start. What do I like to do when I take the green flag? he kind of knows. It's not like a local race when everybody kind of knows what everybody else does. It's if you're at a national, there's all these guys you've never seen before. You hope that they wouldn't have any idea, and especially because I've never led anything. Nobody should know have any idea. But after a couple laps, catch up to a slower car, track yellows the field just because of for safety reasons, and that car was asked to leave the field. And then right back to a green flag after we get re-racked, Delaware restart, and we're back underway. Again, I'm kind of by myself, so skip ahead a little bit until we get to some lap traffic. Otherwise, we're just never going to see anybody for most of this race. Catching up to lap traffic, the track is super duper rubbered in. Most of this is just me trying to figure out how to put the power down, because I can put the power down really fast, and the car just kind of goes where I want it to. I made a couple changes, verified through the Only Fast app, and it all worked out really well. Same thing, skipping ahead again until I catch up to some lappers. Lappers are super respectful, really good at holding the lines. Just kind of dove underneath that one, caught him in a good spot. And it's I talked to the guy Kyle who got second afterwards, and he was just saying that he was just really hoping that something would happen when I got with one of the lappers and like get bogged down, slowed down a bit, because at this point we're getting to this part of the race. I'm looking at timing. I was about 2.5 seconds in front of second place, and another 2.5 seconds back to third. So I was being consistent, and I think that was really the key. I don't know if I had the fastest lap of the race. If I didn't, I was within maybe a couple hundredths. But all my times were pretty consistent. So that really helped out a lot. Just trying to find the line that worked, whether or not that was the fastest going in. But I feel like doing a pretty good job carrying momentum. And then heartbreak, all that lead is eliminated. But I have a few laps to go, and to come home and bring home the win, get that sweep. This is pretty stressful. I was in a pretty good rhythm up to that point, and all of a sudden now I gotta, I got work to do. I gotta finish the race, finish the win. But I'll let my family's excitement do the talking for the last part.
Got it. Leave it. Woo! Daddy! He won!
Yeah, he won.
Yay! Finally!
Well, he won last night too.
Good evening, hear you. Not enough blood's going in my brain right now.
I'll tell you what, great run for you. 2 nights in a row. That's super.
My wife and kids back home, watching home in Imperial Beach. I got some great folks supporting me too. Summer Ray, not only fans, it's only fast. Just to make sure we're clear on that. They help me with my setups and stuff. And I've been really fortunate so far this year, and getting out here to do a Western States race at this great track with these great fans and all these great people. Man, I'm a lucky guy. So thanks for everybody for coming out, and can't wait for the next one.
All right, CJ, congratulations. Great run for you, bud.
Yeah, buddy. Lightweight.